family of 3 worked hard for many years and finally bought a large apartment. After moving in, they discovered something strange. Their son placed a marble on the floor, and it quickly rolled toward the balcony. Lao Bai became suspicious and tested it himself. The building seemed uneven, but his wife thought he was worrying for nothing. That night, a heavy rainstorm hit the city. Cracks suddenly appeared in the walls of the building. Moments later, the entire structure shifted as if it were sinking into the earth. The residents were asleep and had no idea what was happening beneath them. The next morning, people noticed cracked windows and damaged walls. Lao Bai also saw a huge crack in the road outside. He immediately informed the property management and urged them to inspect the area, but they ignored his warnings and delayed taking action. As days passed, the danger increased. One morning, Lao Bai looked outside and saw enormous cracks spreading across the ground. People were running away in panic. Before he could react, the building began shaking violently and parts of the ceiling started collapsing. At first, Lao Bai thought it was an earthquake. Then the entire apartment building suddenly broke apart and plunged into a giant sinkhole. After falling for several terrifying seconds, the building became stuck halfway down inside the deep pit. At the same time, Lao Bai's wife was returning home from the market. When she saw the building trapped deep underground, she was horrified. She didn't care about losing the apartment. Her only concern was whether her husband and son were still alive inside. Inside the building, Lao Bai regained consciousness and rushed to find his son. The boy's room was empty. Suddenly, a car crashed into the apartment from above. The driver turned out to be Lao Bai's co-worker, who had somehow survived the collapse. While helping the co-worker, Lao Bai heard a woman calling for help. After searching several rooms, they discovered a neighbor trapped inside a cabinet. The 3 survivors joined forces and searched the building for anyone else who might still be alive. The survivors climbed to the roof and tried to call for help. Unfortunately, the sinkhole was too deep for any phone signal. They shouted toward the surface, but no one could hear them. Above ground, rescue teams arrived and began planning a rescue mission. Rescuers first attempted to descend with ropes, but the unstable ground nearly caused them to fall into the pit. They switched to using a drone. The drone eventually crashed onto the trapped building, but before it failed, it confirmed that survivors were still alive below. As the survivors celebrated being discovered, the building shifted again. Lao Bai's co-worker nearly fell into the abyss. Everyone worked together to save him using a hanging wire. The wire snapped under the weight, but they managed to grab his ankle and pull him back to safety. The rescue team used drones to deliver supplies and satellite phones. Through a phone call, Lao Bai learned terrible news. His wife revealed that their son had never gone to the market with her. This meant the boy was still somewhere inside the sinkhole. Determined to find his child, Lao Bai descended into the lower levels of the building. During the search, a huge rock crushed his leg. Despite the injury, he kept moving. Meanwhile, his son had crawled into a sewer pipe to survive and became trapped behind fallen debris. After searching desperately, Lao Bai finally heard his son's voice. He removed rocks and mud from the blocked pipe and rescued the boy. Father and son reunited at last. But they knew the building was unstable and could collapse completely at any moment. Heavy rain continued pouring into the sinkhole, causing water levels to rise rapidly. The survivors found a giant plastic bucket and used it as a floating shelter. One man sacrificed his chance to enter so others could survive. The bucket faced many dangers on its journey upward, but the survivors continued fighting for their lives while waiting for rescue.